says, it's your birthday. What do you think?
I'm looking forward to practicing the game tomorrow.
How old are you?
When you've had enough of them, it's
Oh,
just
tell me.
another day.
Tell me,
you have that experience.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Once
46.
Once you reach 50, it's just, oh.
46.
You're
Another
young.
day.
So would that be a nice birthday present from the team to give you a big win, big home opening win?
Sure. That's a nice present at any time.
Talk just a little bit about how pleased were you with the guys after Western Kentucky? I mean, you got ahead a run, they had a run, and then it was just a battle to the end, and they held on.
Well, we were great to start the game, and we were great because we were getting defensive stops, and then we were able to get out in transition. And then that changed, and we didn't change a whole lot defensively. The game just got called differently, and we have to adjust with that. But that's a tough place to play. They had won like 14 straight non-conference home games. They hadn't lost since 2014 at home in a non-conference game against Louisville. So it was a hostile crowd. Teams are going to make runs. We were able to continue to play good basketball. We made some mistakes, but when you find a way to win on the road in that type of environment, it was a big game for them. It was a big game for us. We were glad to get out of there with the win.
I mean, for us watching, a lot of new faces contributing, getting some points, but you've seen these guys for months practicing.
Well, I think that's why we won the game, because we have depth. Alizé was in serious foul trouble. Obi was in foul. Everybody was in foul trouble. Kruk was in foul trouble, but guys, our bench was tremendous. They did a great job. We did a great job of getting points in the paint. We fouled too much. We were plus on the glass. I think we need to be more dominant there. And then I think the other complaint that I would have was that we turned it over too much. But their style kind of makes you play that way. And sometimes when you get a big lead like that, and I think their coach said it, the pressure's off. You just put your head down and start driving the basketball. But it seemed like whatever we were in, whether it was man or zone, we continued to get called for fouls. But that's something we've got to clean up.
Now, they interchanged their defenses and the amount of pressure they put, really extending up the court. How'd you feel like when they went full court, or at least up to the half court, your guys did with handling the pressure?
That's all we prepared for, was their 1-3-1.
Right.
You do not see a 1-3-1 very often in college basketball. You see plenty of 2-3s, and their 1-3-1, if you watch close enough, when it gets flattened out, if you get the ball to the baseline, it becomes a 2-3. So we did an outstanding job of taking care of their 1-3-1. Right. We really did. We attacked it, and I couldn't have been any more pleased with how we handled their defense.
I thought Jared Rhodes, when you guys were able to get him the ball in the middle of the court there, whether at the top of the key or at the free throw line, he was really successful in getting the ball to Scurry or outside.
Yeah, he had a couple great dump downs, catching it in the high post. You know, I played him 37 minutes, and he didn't have a great offensive night, but I still thought he contributed and he impacted winning. And then they had Darius Thompson, who is a big-time player, guard him the entire game. So I thought he was very effective in the middle of the floor. I thought J.T. Miller was also very effective in the middle of the floor against their pressure.
What about Southern coming up? This team, what do you know about these guys and this doubleheader opener?
Well, they've had two really hard road games. They were at Illinois, and Illinois blew them out. And then they were at Marshall last night and lost by 9, I believe. They've got an all-league post guy who's 13-8. He's very good. They've got a very good guard named Eddie Reese. They shoot a lot of threes. We have to play good basketball. That's college basketball. You have to show up and prepare and be ready to go. And that's, I'm anxious to see how we respond. We need to come out and play extremely hard. That's what we're looking forward to doing.
Alizé played a little bit of rust, that maybe with the fouls. How's he doing physically, and is he going to be ready?
Oh, yeah, he's doing great. It actually ended up being a blessing that he got in foul trouble, because if he wasn't in foul trouble, he would have wanted to play more minutes, and then he and I would have been having some discussions. But because he was on a minute restriction, but it worked out well. To play 14 minutes and get 13-8, that is a high level of efficiency. But as I told Zay yesterday in practice, he knows it's gonna take him about another 2 to 3 weeks of the day-to-day practices, of the minutes, of getting more reps to get back to where he's wants to be at. But to have him on the floor, that changes the complexion of our team. But yet he wants to be perfect, and yet it's going to take some time. But to get 13 and 8 in limited time, Obi played 13 minutes and was just, I thought it was Obi's best game of his career in a game that truly mattered, a road game that was very difficult. But I think having Zay back helps a guy like Reggie Scurry. Now you can bring him in off the bench to where he's probably more comfortable early on, but yet you could see when we got into that foul trouble and Reggie had to play those heavy minutes. That's what I talked about. Zay was out for 6 weeks. Reggie getting all of those reps really helped him.
You talked about successful play in the post. It seemed like Obi, when he was in the game, and then Reggie were capable of getting any shot they wanted to down there.
Well, they weren't very deep.
Right.
Their bigs are very good. Justin Johnson is an absolute load, and then Colby's a load, but they're not very deep. So that was our intention to go at them. Obi's very unselfish when he catches the ball in the post, but we've told him, you got to go at these guys. We got to draw fouls, and he did an outstanding job of that.
Is
and
Alizé,
Tanvir as well.
Yeah.
Tanvir as well.
is Alizé going to be on the minute restriction again tomorrow night? Or?
Oh yeah, I mean he's just getting back.
So,
I mean he's fully cleared, but it's not so much how many minutes he plays overall. It's the length of time that we're watching, even in practice. 3 to 4 minutes a burst at the most. So that's what we're being conscious of.
It's just another game tomorrow night, I guess, but you got a lot of new players and you got a lot of fans who are getting a first look at this team. Do you take this as an opportunity and the guys to kind of set the tempo for the season?
No, I don't. I mean, I really hope that our fans come out and watch our guys. I think we had an outstanding crowd in our exhibition game against Southwest Baptist, and hopefully they liked our product. But I think we set the tone every day with how we go about our business, but there's no doubt that we'd like to get a good crowd out here, and I think our fans will enjoy watching our guys play. We've got good players, we've got guys that really care, and as I said, it was twofold at Western Kentucky. They come out and support their crowd, but they also sold it as a big game against us, so they were coming out to see us, which was a little bit different. We're going to play hard tomorrow, and we hope that even though it's an early start, that our fans get out here.
Coach, at this point of the season, you've got so much promise, you've got so many games in front of you. Is it hard for you to take them one game at a time? Do you really feel like you want to try, oh boy, if we can only get into January, or do you just try to take it?
No, it's one game at a time. Now, we have 6 games in 10 days when we start tomorrow. And you look at North Dakota State, who has a terrific program. They've been on a West Coast trip. They played at USC last night, took them to the wire. I know that. I'm not telling the players that. And then when you fast forward to Georgia Southern, we knew that's the game that we wanted in Florida in terms of a great RPI game. They returned all of their starters, their starting backcourt. Both of their guards are first team all-league, all Sun Belt, and they beat Wake Forest at Wake Forest. As coaches and the staff, we're preparing for all of that, but yet, no, I don't wish it would be January because we've got to take it one game at a time. And guys, we're not even close to where we can be. There's a player's individual rhythm, and then there's a team's rhythm. Zay, number one, had pretty good rhythm the other night, but he hasn't been with us, and we were playing without him. We were moving forward without him. Well, now that he's back, we've got to get his individual rhythm going, which he's working hard to do, and then incorporate him with the team, which is a great problem to have. But we're a month from now, we're going to be a much better team. Thanks, guys.
Good deal. Thank you, sir.